Welcome back. Today, we're diving into an eye opening explainer on the art of pure listening beyond mental labels. As humans, we have this deeply wired habit of instantly naming and categorizing literally every single thing we encounter. But what actually happens if we bypass those labels? Let's get right into it.
Okay, think about your typical day for a split second. Cars honking, phones buzzing, people chatting in the hallway, keyboards clacking. It feels incredibly noisy, right? We naturally blame the outside world for being just way too loud and overwhelming. But what if the real noise is actually inside you? What if that mental exhaustion you feel at the end of the day isn't from the sounds themselves, but from what your busy brain is constantly doing with those sounds?
Okay, let's dive into this. Can you hear without naming? Seriously, I want you to honestly reflect on this for a second. When was the very last time you truly listened to something without your mind immediately interjecting to tell you exactly what it was? It's way harder than you might think. We are completely conditioned to be the constant narrators of our own lives.
And this brings us to a really crucial distinction from the source material. Are you actually hearing sounds, or are you just hearing your mind's interpretations? Think about the exact moment a sound hits your eardrum. Almost instantly, your brain just races to turn it into a story. A siren isn't just a vibration in the air. It instantly becomes an emergency, a traffic jam, or, a great excuse for why you'll be late to dinner. We rarely just hear the sound itself. We hear the narrative we attach to it. So let's look at section 1, the real noise inside, specifically our restless interpreting mind. And this brilliantly illustrates a profound truth. Most people do not truly listen. Instead, they interpret. We automatically slap labels on everything: bird, traffic, fan, wind. We even take it a step further and add judgments, right? Calling them pleasant or irritating. But what is the raw sensation of sound before the mind touches it? It's simply tone. It's vibration, rhythm, texture, distance, and movement. That is what actual sound is, before our brain gets its busy hands on it.
Now, why does understanding this matter? Because constant interpretation keeps the brain active and restless. Every single time you label a sound as a disturbance, you're actively creating your own restlessness. You're feeding the exhaustion of your own mental noise. I mean, it's not the hum of the refrigerator that's actually tiring you out. It's your brain constantly churning in the background saying, ugh, that sound is so irritating, I wish it would stop.
Which leads us to section 2. What is pure listening? Hearing without mental naming.
Here is where we find a really fascinating paradigm shift in the explainer. Pure listening is the practice of experiencing sounds directly without judgment, analysis, or mentally naming them. The goal here is simple but incredibly profound. You stop thinking about the sound, and instead, you simply experience it. And when you do this, your awareness deepens, and that exhausting mental noise we just talked about, it finally begins to slow down.
And the benefits of doing this are absolutely massive. The whole purpose of this practice is to calm overthinking, increase mindfulness, reduce mental reactivity, improve concentration, and ultimately create inner stillness. By stepping back from the labels, you are literally training your mind to observe the world without the immediate, desperate need to control it, categorize it, or react to it. It's basically a workout for mental peace. All right, section 3, the 4-step practice. Taking this from theory to direct application.
The source material slows things down here to outline the preparation. First, choose a place where sounds naturally exist. It could be a local park, your apartment balcony, or literally just a quiet room with an open window. Sit or stand comfortably. Keep your body completely relaxed. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so. And simply take 3 slow, deep breaths to center yourself. Let's move to and see how this builds into the actual exercise. Step 1. Begin pure listening. Don't actively search for sounds. Just allow them to arrive naturally, whether they're distant, soft, or continuous. Step 2, avoid labeling. When your mind inevitably says car or dog barking, gently let go of that category. Return to just hearing the tone, the distance, the vibration. Step 3, notice your mind's habits. Watch how quickly it wants to identify or judge. And finally, step 4, expand your awareness. Notice the silence that exists between the sounds, and really pay attention to how every sound naturally rises and then fades away.
Wow, this is where people often trip up. The practice is not about stopping thoughts forcefully. It is about returning softly to direct listening, again and again. It is completely natural for your brain to want to judge and compare. I mean, that's its job. Don't fight it. The magic happens in the gentle return to the raw sensation. Remember, no sound stays forever, just like no thought stays forever.
They all pass. Moving on to Section 4, Finding Peace in the Gap, Transforming How We Experience the World. This practice isn't just an auditory exercise, it connects deeply to the broader human experience of stress. So, the crucial point is the gap. It's defined as a small but powerful space created between an experience and your mental reaction to it. When you practice pure listening, you aren't just learning about sound. You are actually training yourself to widen this exact gap in your daily life. And that gap, that is where true stillness and genuine mindfulness actually reside.
This brings us to a really profound insight from our source material. Most suffering in our lives is not created purely by the experience itself. Rather, it's intensified by our constant mental labels, instantly deciding if something is a threat, boring, or annoying. We suffer because of our mind's relentless, exhausting commentary and translation of what's happening. The freedom of experiencing the gap is literally the freedom from being a slave to that constant commentary. To bridge this explainer with your actual daily life, the source provides some fascinating reflection questions to chew on. Which sounds did I normally ignore? Did my mind resist non-labeling? What happened when I actually stopped interpreting? Did I feel calmer, restless, emotional, or present? And what does this reveal about my daily mind? Asking yourself these questions after trying the practice reveals incredible insights about how your own mind operates on a daily basis. It makes the invisible visible. Right now, wherever you are, let's try a mini version of this silent closing practice. For just a few seconds, listen to everything happening around you right now. Don't choose anything, have no preference, have no resistance. Just sit in pure awareness. Let's try it. Notice how that felt. Notice the space it created. As the source beautifully puts it, sometimes peace begins when we stop needing to interpret everything and simply learn how to listen. The world becomes noisy, not just because of physical sound, but because our minds just won't stop translating every single experience into a running commentary. Which leaves us with one final, incredibly important question to consider long after this explainer ends. Are you listening to life or reacting to it? Take that question into your day. Try stepping back, letting go of the labels, and just listening. Thanks so much for joining me today. I highly recommend taking just 5 minutes to try the 4-step practice we covered. You might be completely surprised by the silence you find, right in the middle of all the noise. Catch you next time.